Cool. Okay, so let's actually talk about that then. So, what part does Twitter, and I know for you, Darren, newsletters and Facebook and the other bits and pieces that feed into the blog, what part do they play, and what sort of time do you spend on them?
For me, when I started blogging, it was just a blog. I don't even think blogs had comments back then. Like, I had to install something to get comments on my blog. These days, blogs are kind of evolving and they're merging with different types of media and mediums. The social media, look, the way I kind of describe it, and I'm borrowing a bit of Chris Brogan's language, is to describe my blog as my home base. It's the place I control, it's the place I drive people to, it's where I hang out, it's permanent. No one's going to be deleting that unless I do something really bad and my host wants to pull it down. And then I see the Twitter and the Facebook and the YouTube as satellites or outposts around that, and they only exist to build the centre. I saw a lot of bloggers, when Twitter went really big, give up their blogs to get onto Twitter and become pro-Twitterers. The problem with that is that Twitter owns your account and they can switch it off like that and then you're left with nothing. So for me, the social media stuff drives traffic, builds the brand, helps with community interactions, is great for networking, it's great for research. If I'm writing a post, I'll often ask the question on Twitter, what's your experience on that? But it's all periphery to actually what's going on my blog, and for me the blog's there. And things like, I've added forums to my blogs, I've added newsletters, so I'm really open to letting my blog look a bit more like a portal and use other mediums as it suits my audience.
Use Facebook professionally?
Yes, I use Facebook. My Facebook account, my personal profile, I sacked 5,000 friends, and now I have 200 of people who I actually know, but I now have Facebook pages instead of profiles. And that was a bit of a painful experience, sacking 5,000 people who thought they were my friend.
Better let Duncan go next. Yes, you
go. Obviously, you have to have a Twitter account. And people are using Twitter like they are RSS now. So we have a Twitter account. I've never really pushed it that hard. If people might follow what they can. We're finding we've recently introduced a lot, gone really hard on Facebook, and the results have really seen a massive growth spurt for us. If you can get, we've put in Facebook commenting, and I hope it's working. If you check the site tonight, because it wasn't earlier, we put in Facebook commenting pages, the like buttons, and just someone hitting the like button on Facebook and sharing it with their friends has just seen our traffic probably double in the last 3 months since we brought it in. Best thing I ever did. In terms of other social tools, I'm probably not as heavy as Darren. Yeah, I trust that people will find the stuff if it's good enough. I always have, and I have faith in Google, obviously.
Okay, I think that we have to recognise that people have different habits when it comes to social media. So some people will love Facebook and some people will hate it, and some people will be Twitter freaks and others won't. So I think it's really important to have some sort of presence on all of those. I personally love them all, surprisingly. So I use them all. But I think sites like Twitter really help us to share things really quickly, and people sort of retweet without thinking, which is a bad thing often, but it's also a good thing if you're sharing positive stuff. So that's really worked to my advantage. The other thing with sites like Facebook and Twitter for bloggers is that if you have a blogger like my blog is called Meet Me at Mike's, it's not called Pip Lincoln, and so for some people there's not a person behind it, it's just there's this person behind it, and I bet Darren feels the same, I'm not sure about Duncan. So sites like Facebook and Twitter show people that actually it is a person who did just have a cup of tea and is now going to work, and you know, that I suppose they make you more human. And if your blog is quite personal, or if you are trying to create a profile as a person, I think it's really valid to come across as a person, not just as a blog. So I think they're really valuable tools.
Can I get something to that? The only thing I'd say on that, depending on what your aim is don't agree with you 100%, but I'm trying to create something now, and Darren will say the same with his sites as well, which isn't linked to me. It's a brand, it's not me. So I think the only point I add to that is that there's two types of blogs in that regard. There's a perfectly good place for your personal blog if you're in marketing or PR. In selling you as the person, that's to me is marketing yourself, whereas that's not always appropriate.
I'd say with my sites on Digital Photography School, I never put anything personal on there. It's Digital Photography School is tweeting. and occasionally I might put my name, because I now have another guy who tweets on there as well, and he puts his name. But I'm pro blogger. Everyone knew my kids had gastro last week, you know, and that may gross some people out. But you know, I had someone come up to me before and say, "Are the kids okay?" I've never met them before, but they, you know, it's that personal thing. And the same thing's true with video. Since I started putting video posts up, I told the story at a conference recently. I had a woman at Blog World Expo run at me and literally body slam me almost, because she hugged me so much, and her comment after she stopped crying was, "I feel like I know you," and it was that.
Was she cute though?
I don't know, there was too many tears and snot and stuff.
So the answer is no.
But it was that personal connection, and she said it started for her when she heard my voice and she saw my face, and I occasionally will include something of my kids in the videos as well. You have to have some boundaries around that type of thing, but yeah, if you can be personal, inject that, depending on your site.
Okay, cool. Good segue. Thank you. Did you see that I wrote video there? Very good. I don't like to call it vlogging. I think it's a dumb word. We're going to call it video blogging, okay, when I ask this question. It's a hard word to say, vlogging. But there was a post that really stuck out to me, Darren, that you did a couple of weeks ago. Actually, it wasn't a couple of weeks ago, it was a while ago, but I just found it recently, where you were demonstrating these two different cameras, which have still and video in them, and you were just demonstrating how they worked. But there was one of your children was in the background, and the background was blurry, but you were perfectly clear. And it was the most amazing effect. It was really engaging, and you sort of found yourself looking at this blurry blob in the background going, what's the kid going to do? You know, like, I don't know that I could have one of my kids in the background. But the post was about how to blog while you have a family and how you can fit in the time around your family. And then the gorgeous little kid came up and that little pirate hat on, and then just sort of sat there and going, hello, into the camera. It was really super cute. So the question is, you know, at what point did you start to do video blogging? And Pip, I know one of the perks from having a very popular blog was that you get sent a video camera by Flip, which you then had to go looking for. And Duncan, I haven't seen any video blogs from you. So have you played with it? How does it work? And you know, what do you plan to do with it?
Yeah, I mean, the personal stuff that I just talked about. The other thing I'd say is that video reaches a different type of person to text. And what I found was once I started putting videos on that site, I started getting comments from people who told me they'd been reading for a year and had never left a comment. And for some strange reason, it was often women. And I don't know why, it's definitely not me, but there's something about different learning styles. Some people are auditory, some people are visual, some people like to read, whatever it is. So yeah, I started putting transcripts up now for my videos for those people who like to read who never watch the video because they just don't watch videos. So yeah, it really has drawn out a different type of reader in my sites, which has been great.
I don't do a lot of videos. I did watch that particular video of yours and I thought it was adorable. However, I recently did a series of craft-related videos on how to crochet a granny square, and they got really a lot of hits for me because a lot of people can't follow instructions, can't read a pattern. So there I was. I had the volume turned down so you couldn't hear my annoying voice. And I was just taking people through the steps slowly, step by step, at almost slow motion pace, trying to teach them how to do this thing. Every single day, I get 4 or 5 emails saying, oh my God, thank you, I've never been able to do that, I can do it now, you don't know what you've done for me. Just because I've taught someone something that they thought they could never learn. And so I think the power of video is that you can teach people stuff that it might be a little harder to teach in text form. So I think that you can't ignore video. If you're a bit shy, I'm sure there are lots of ways that you can get around that by maybe not putting your head in it or not putting your voice in it or whatever, but it's a really important way of engaging people, so use videos, I say.